We're live, ladies and gentlemen. We are live. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna let a few people get on because I do not want you to miss anything that's about to happen. We're gonna talk about the impeachment inquiry that we saw today, these hearings that are absolutely ridiculous. And then we're gonna talk about this kid, Nick Fuentes, and how I watched the Ben Shapiro's speech that he did. And he destroyed that kid. And I'm gonna make another independent video because I don't want it to get lost in the shuffle. So I'm gonna let a few more people get on here. Let's see, Epic, what's up? Andrea, what's going on? The Shadow Man, what it do? Who else is on here? Let's see, my baby Corinne on here doing the mods. Let's see, there's a few of y'all jumping on here. Somebody said F Fuentes. Look. Which one should I start with first? Fuentes, put a 1, or put a 2 if you want me to start with the impeachment. We'll see what the audience says. And make sure you hit the like button, so we can make sure this stream. We got a 2, we got more 2s. So let's get into the impeachment hearings that occurred today. This is the second, I guess, witness. They had 2 witnesses the first time. There's a second witness, Yovanovitch. I think she was an ambassador. She got fired by the president of the United States because she was just corrupt in his opinion, and then she wasn't doing what she's supposed to do in her position. So what's her name? I forget her name now. I just looked it up. But she, the representative, the female representative from the Republican Party, she killed it. I thought Jim Jordan was probably the best at articulating his side, but I forget her name. I just looked it up, but she destroyed their entire argument. And what was presented in this hearing that I think that would make more sense if you didn't see it is that literally they brought a witness forward who had no information of the president doing anything wrong, no crime, no, none of that stuff. It didn't exist. And so all of the shenanigans that's going on from the left and going on from the Democrats is just completely falling apart. It's not, without a doubt, it's falling apart. And I think that this was another example of that, expressing that this lady had no information that would lead to impeachment at all. Not even close. So we'll get into some more juicy stuff. I'm gonna still let a few more people get on here. Like I said, man, I think YouTube, think about this for a minute. I got, I don't know, 388K followers and 500 people on. You tell me. And I've been looking at people like Jericho Green and others whom Crowder, Jericho Green specifically, when they go live or they do something, it goes straight to spam. And so I have to then tell people in my audience that you got to get it out of spam. You got to go and do all this, jump through these hoops so you can see my videos. Let's see. Melanie, thanks so much for the super chat. So let me continue down the path of President Trump. President Trump, for those of you who, y'all already know how I feel, but for those of you who may disagree, President Trump didn't do anything he wasn't supposed to do. There's no evidence of a quid pro quo. And everybody with a brainstem understands that the quid pro quo, if any, came from Joe Biden. B Little, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, bro, some more Tennessee love, my guy. Appreciate you. The president literally was on a phone call with Ukraine president who was newly elected. In his honest opinion, and I think the opinions of most people in America, that the Ukrainians have a huge level of corruption going on. And before we give our taxpayer dollars to what we believe to be a corrupt government, we need to vet them first. And the president went down a succession of things to make sure that the Ukraine president had the trustworthiness for us to even give him money. There was no quid pro quo. The Ukraine president didn't even know that we were withholding funds from them to verify if they were corrupt or not. And we went on, we gave them the funds. They didn't give us nothing in return. Like I said, they didn't even know this was going on. So that literally defeats the idea of a quid pro quo. Completely eliminates the idea. The president has gone on television and said that there was no there. The Ukraine president has gone on television on many networks and said that there was no there, that he wasn't pressured. There was no wrongdoing on the phone call. Yet the liberals continue to run their mouth and continue to push a narrative that's not true. Yesterday, we saw Ambassador Taylor, and it was a crap show. The two blind mice is what I call them in my other video. They're literally going around and trying to conjure up some information about Trump that do not exist. All American people want to know is, in those transcripts, is there anything that could lead to an impeachment? And there's nothing. So I know I'm early in the live stream. I want to get to this Nick Fuentes thing because I think that's the most pressing thing emotionally for me that has been bothering me for the last couple of days. Let's see. Let's see. What is it? Beach Jetty, thanks so much for the super chat. California for Trump. Nunes is amazing. Now let's get rid of Pelosi, Schiff, and Newsom. Thanks for the great content. Inspirational. I appreciate it. Let's get to this Fuentes kid, right? And I'm going to try to give him a very fair, balanced evaluation. I said this on my live stream on the Instagram. I don't know the kid, Nick Fuentes. Never heard of him before more recently when these people who are supposedly his supporters have gone to Charlie Kirk's events and thrown out all this BS, and some of which is BS. If they were legitimately asking him questions, I would consider it to be more than just BS. But they're not asking him legitimate questions. They're antagonizing Charlie Kirk at his events. But I haven't heard, I didn't know the guy at first. And I'm going to tell you how I discovered Nick Fuentes and how I seen his content before I even knew who he was. I saw a joke that was made about cookies in an oven and about how many ovens did it take to bake 6 million cookies. Now, in my naive mind, I had no idea what he was talking about. I had no idea who he was, but I was watching this kid talk about and joke about this baking cookies in the oven thing. He wasn't dismissing it. He wasn't coming at it like, oh man, that's ridiculous. I don't know why anybody would say that. He was laughing. He was trying to figure out how to calculate the numbers. He was lamenting to the fact that it doesn't make sense that many cookies couldn't have been burned in 5-year period of time. Didn't know what he was talking about. Later on, I found out that kid on the video was Nick Fuentes. And then I found out that he was making jokes about Jews in the Holocaust. And it's beyond me why anybody would think twice or even consider his discussion about the bacon in the oven to be anything other than at least making fun of people that lost their lives in the Holocaust. Let me see, Andrea, thanks so much for the super chat. Keep bringing the voice for those who can't speak up. I appreciate the super chat. So let's keep going with this. So this is how I found out who this kid is. Another thing that really bothers me about his presentation, because I don't know him personally, so I don't know if he's racist or not, but what bothers me about his presentation is this idea that America is better the more white it is. And the less white America has become, the worse problems we're seeing and the more democratic control that we're having. And if you wonder why people are considering or at least thinking that this kid is racist, that is the very foundation of racism. If anybody, you can talk about immigration and you can throw out numbers. You could say as the more brown America is becoming, the more liberal policies are coming in or whatever the case may be. It's not about race. It's simply about ideology, because the color of your skin don't mean nothing compared to what you can learn and who you become as a result of that. Dre W, thanks so much for the super chat. And so for anybody that's making the claim to fame to attach immigration with race, you're making a huge mistake. Because if you want to keep it real, when America was the most white, we had slavery. When America was the most white, we had Jim Crow. and all of the racist things that we've seen in our history. We're not going to even talk about what happened to Native Americans. We're not going to talk about what happened to Chinese. But if you want to keep it 100, think about this for a minute. Who do you think is voting for these Democratic lunatics? Majority white. So if you want to really come across as saying race has anything to do with immigration and bad policies, white people have been in control. White people are the majority in this country, and white people are still voting for these ignorant politicians. So you can't use that argument as not effective. Let me get to a few more super chats. Democrats love taking L's like the Cleveland Browns. Oh my goodness. I appreciate the super chat, Josh. That's funny. Let's see. Vernon, thanks so much for the super chat. Hey, Brandon, any thoughts on the Roger Stone development? I'll get to that in a quick second. Let me make one more point about why I think that this Fuentes kid is literally presenting himself in a very negative light, which his flame is going to go up and down if he don't change his ideology. First, he made jokes about the Jews, and then they lament to the fact that America is better the more white it is. That's white nationalist. That's white racism. That's not America first. That's white America first. So I can argue with anybody till the cows come home. The truth of the matter is ideology. As people come in who are poor, they come into this country and they're poor, they're going to run for the party that's promising to give them everything for free. That's just common knowledge. So as immigration is brought into this country, illegal immigration and immigration of people who are uneducated, people who may be poor or whatever the case may be, that immigration is very, very lacking. That is a problem. It has nothing to do with race. Also, chain migration, anchor babies, and all of the such. All of those things are counterproductive. Also, immigrants who do not assimilate. That is the big thing. The assimilation and also their status as they come into this country and who they're going to vote for based on who's going to give them anything they want, at least who's claiming to give them anything they want. Obviously, DACA didn't work out well because the Democrats did nothing. They didn't even give them a path to citizenship, if you ask me. Is that problematic? Let me get to one more super chat. I'm going to jump on Roger Stone, then I'm going to get back to the subject at hand. Brian, thank you so much for the super chat. Love you, bro. Got my gear info. I never logged off YouTube. Jericho. Let's see. You, Crowder, all immediately get rings. Never spam. Thank you. I appreciate it. That's a good thing. I'm always on YouTube, but I still get Jericho Green in the spam for some odd reason. I had to remove it out of the spam folder. But Roger Stone, I'm going to tell you this. I haven't followed a lot of the Roger Stone situation. I do personally think that he was targeted because he was associated with the president. You're talking about obstruction of an investigation, lying under oath, and all these other things are the readily available crimes they can put anybody for. And to be honest, if you're going to get Roger Stone for some of the accusations or at least alleged things that he's been convicted on, if you're going to get him for those, Hillary Clinton should be under the prison. Listen, I'm going to give you just a proof text here. She deleted 30,000 emails. She lied about deleting the emails. Then she lied about having classified information on the emails. She lied about deleting classified information from a server that the government had no idea about. Then she goes on and has her lawyers go in and filter the emails, exposing people without a security clearance to classified information. That is a crime. I don't care how you slice it. There is no intent in that statute. It's the fact that the classified information was there. She deleted it or knowingly exposed other people. That is a crime. She should be in jail. McCabe lied under oath. Comey lied under oath. We can go down the list. All these people should be in jail as well. Bill Clinton, I know him and Epstein got something going on Lolita Express, but they ain't never going to prosecute them for it. Mueller, all of these people. But I think I said McCabe, Carter Page, Lisa. Is it Carter? It's I forget their name. Strzok, Lisa Page, and some of these other people that should be under the jail based on crimes that were actually committed. But yet they target Roger Stone. Yet they go after Manafort for crimes that he did 15 years ago that had nothing to do with the presidential election. Those things are important, ladies and gentlemen, when you're talking about convictions and you're talking about people who are corrupt. I mean, Loretta Lynch with Bill Clinton on the tarmac. I mean, come on. We can go down the list. So thank you so much for the super chat. Back to the subject at hand. People continue to talk about this Fuentes kid. Somebody say debate Nick. Now, one reason that I thought about it. I told my girl, I say, man, I'll debate this kid Nick. But one thing that just standing in the way of me really going after him and debating him is because how legitimate is this kid? And I'm not talking about how popular. I'm talking about how legitimate. I'm telling you, if you watch the Ben Shapiro, and because I look at Nick Fuentes' live streams, I watched them. I see how ridiculous some of the things he say. Calling Rob Smith derogatory names. I mean, come on, bro. You're not helping your case. What do I benefit by debating with somebody who has positions that are a waste of my time to debate? Is America better the more white is getting? That's not something that's worth a debate. Is Charlie Kirk not a conservative? That's probably one of the dumbest statements I've ever heard. Is he a conservative or not? I mean, I know the man. I'm not talking about Charlie Kirk from a stance of not knowing who he is, never being around him, don't know what he stands for. I used to work for the organization that Charlie Kirk runs. I know for a fact he's a conservative. And like I said, anybody that's going to make those arguments, you're not making the arguments in the right direction. When you are of a similar to an alt-right position of racism and all other things, or at least your claims sound racist, I mean, it's a waste of my time. Why would I debate you when I could debate a person that's legitimate? I'm actually having a debate on Tuesday against a young man, Peters. He's a libertarian, and we're going to disagree on. He expects the country to allow open borders completely, right? The war on drugs. I think his position is that all drugs be legalized. Those ideologies, from a libertarian standpoint, is a worthy debate. Debating a kid that don't even know if Charlie Kirk is a conservative, debating a kid that literally sent people to events to troll, not to ask legitimate questions, but to troll. I mean, what's the point? What are we going to prove? People that like him are going to like him no matter what. People that like me are going to like me no matter what. We're not proving anything. So let's continue. And I'm saying a debate like we're going to get on a debate stage in front of the world. If he ever wanted to come on to my live stream, he could come on to my Instagram live stream and I'll let him come on and we can have a conversation. But for me to set up a debate and all this stuff is pointless. It's pointless. All right, let me make sure I get these super chats and we can go beyond that. Rob Smith, Lucius said Rob Smith is a grifter. Thank you for the super chat, but I disagree with your super chat. I mean, let's put this in perspective, ladies and gentlemen. People are saying Rob Smith is a grifter. Do you know Rob Smith? Do you know him? Have you had a conversation with him? Oh, you haven't. Oh, you only know what you see on social media or see from a interview or something that he had, and you're determining that he's a grifter based on that. That you can't argue with stupidity. If you're going to say that the man is a grifter, you got to have evidence of grifting. At least have some knowledge of who he is. A person like myself who know him, I'm telling you right now, he's not a grifter. You may disagree with his sexuality, but that don't make a man a grifter. Let's see. Demented, thanks so much for the super chat. Huge thanks from Montana for doing an amazing job. Hey, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I want to make sure I get these super chats because I think I kind of missed a few. Let's see. Angie, thank you for the super chat. Russian, Ukrainian here. My family left the U.S. because of corruption. Dang straight. We need to make sure. Let's see. Left to the U.S. because of corruption. Dang straight. We need to make sure that we aren't sending money to corrupt politicians abroad. We don't need to feed that BS. Let me just give y'all a perspective just real quick. They're corrupt. We have been investigating their corruption in America for a very long time. Even under the Obama administration, the organization that Hunter Biden was working for, Burisma, they were corrupt. In Obama's era, they've been corrupt. You know what I'm saying? So as if they're just now becoming corrupt, I mean, that's just a myth. Let me make sure I get all these super chats real quick, and then we'll go back. I wish I could bring people live on here because I know there's somebody that want to debate me. We already got Luciana. Let's see. I'm shaking the whole computer. Let's see. Zach, thanks so much for the super chat. Thank you for being a strong, God-fearing, intelligent voice of reason. Preach prayers for you. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the prayers. I wish I could see all y'all's comments about this Groyper stuff, but stuff is just crazy to me. Let's see. Justin, thank you so much for the super chat. Laugh out loud. You think black people can run America, man? I'm black, and I know that. You can't argue against Nick's views because you know he's right. You know, this is what's funny to me. You're racist. If you are determining whether somebody can run the country or not based on race, you are an ignorant person. It's not about race, it's about ideology and culture. Because therefore, I shouldn't be a conservative because I'm black. No, it's because I woke up because good quality people gave me information that I didn't previously have. That helped me wake up to realize I'm actually conservative. It's called waking up. For those of you who still want to practice this ideology of race, when America was mostly white and running the country, we did have slavery. Do you remember that? We did have Jim Crow. We did have the KKK. How many people of other races were a part of the KKK? Name one. They were all white. Think about it. We've been having a two-party system this whole time. Who's been in leadership in the Democratic Party when they were the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow, and all of that stuff? Who was in leadership of the Democratic Party this whole time? White people. We can continue to go on. I can ask a person like Fuentes, if you feel like the white nationalists are so great, then why don't you live in an all-white country? Name an all-white country that's better than America. I'll wait. Name an all-white country whose economy is better than America's economy, that gives you the freedoms that America gives you. Name an all-white country. I'll wait. Don't say European. Now, don't say European ideologies are what's best, because we can see what's going on in Europe right now. They're taking a poo in the bed. Don't try to say white, because Canadians are primarily white. Trudeau and all these other idiots up there, and there are some of them on the most SJW countries that there are. So don't try to bring the white man argument into it, because it's not about white or black. It's about ideology. Because who do you think Antifa is? I've probably seen one black man in Antifa, a bunch of white folks. Who's the top candidates for the Democratic Party? Who's the top candidates for the Democratic Party? Old white man Joe Biden, white woman Elizabeth Warren, white man Bernie Sanders, and the other people are white. Booker and Kamala Harris don't have a chance. All these white people. Who do you think voted for Barack Obama, his terrible policies? A majority of white voters, 2 terms. If the white ideology was so special and so productive for conservatism, then white people would majority vote conservative. They will be like black people voting for Democrats. They'll be majority voting conservative. And Ben Shapiro brought up a really good point. He said Hispanics in California vote primarily Democrat. Hispanics in Florida vote for Republicans, the Sanchez supporters. So race is not the same as economic and educational, I would say perfection, but people who are more educated. So Justin, thank you for the super chat, but I'm sorry, brother. Valerie, thank you so much for the super chat. Dems are helping the president keep it up. I know they are, man. Keep doing these hearings. Keep with the Russia talk, all of the stuff y'all doing. Keep doing it, because y'all making us great again. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I get everybody's super chats. Let me see, because this thing is going so fast. I'm missing a few. Let me see. We're gonna get everybody. Let's see. Let's see. Look at your radio. You are George Soros' lapdog. Look at your radio. 10, thanks so much for the super chat, but I don't know what to tell you, brother. Let me try to get everybody super chat. I think I'm on a path to success right here. And if you did a super chat and I missed you, I'll try to catch up with you at the end. Let's see. Kakistan Warrior, thanks so much for the super chat. Thank you for standing against Nick Fuentes. He's racist and homophobic, outright grifter. Listen, I don't know the man personally. He comes across as being racist, homophobic, and anti-Semitic. This is the way he's coming across. I'm not saying that he is. I mean, if it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. But the way he comes across is just, it's not very good. Anyway, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Nick Fuentes got destroyed by Ben Shapiro. No doubt. Justin, thank you so much for another super chat. No, man, even JLP knows that, bro. 90% of black voting, right? Countries in Africa like Liberia and Libya have constitutions like us, but are still crap. It doesn't matter. Think about this for a minute. Look at all the great inventions by black people in America. Look at culture. Black people run culture in America. Black people run entertainment in America. Black people run your favorite sports in America. So what would America be without the black athletes? What would it be? What would the economy be? Football, basketball, these sports drive the economy in America. What would they be without black athletes? What would entertainment be? I mean, all of these things that we all have in common that we work together on makes this country great. It's not just white people. And if you're gonna use that stance and say it's just white people, you're proving that you're a racist. It's called ideology. The ideology of slavery isn't a good ideology. That's not a good ideology. Just because it was perpetuated mostly by whites in this country, when you talk about slavery in America, don't make it a white ideology. It makes it an ideology because other people thought and believed that slavery was ridiculous and was not sustainable and not profitable. So that's why after the Civil War, there was no more slavery. If they wanted it to, they could make slavery consistent, but it wasn't. Oh, okay. Black people used to be Republican. Black people used to vote majority Republican. If you know your history book. So you can't say, oh, black people are this way. Black people used to be Republican. The problem now is that we have been brainwashed to believe a certain way. By who? Who have brainwashed the black folks? White liberals. All right. Y'all gonna hey. Somebody help these. Danielle, thanks so much for the super chat. Did you hear about Trump's new medical program? I did not hear about it. I'll be on that soon. I've been just focused on all this impeachment, listening to that stuff, and my own personal life. Let's see. Justin is at it again. Thank you for another super chat. And see, I bet Justin is one of those ones that give a super chat, then retract it. But I'll give you the courtesy to read your statements. Give you courtesy to read your statements. Let's see. I'm trying to find it. I guess it don't go back that far. Let's see. Lucius. Rap music equals degenerate. Athletes equal anti-American. Now, let me help you real quick, because I think that you're not making sense in the overall big scheme of things. Not every rapper raps about bullcrap. There are rappers who are quality lyricists, and they're good at what they do, and they actually are positive. There are some, and I would say a majority of the new rappers are garbage. So rap music doesn't necessarily equal a certain outcome. Athletes, not all athletes are bad. There's a lot of educated, there's a lot of successful athletes that run businesses that you're going to be working for as soon as they're done with the NFL. A lot of these athletes are actually doing the right thing and are good people. Colin Kaepernick took a knee. and a few other dummies in the NFL took a knee. But there were plenty of black people and other athletes who never took a knee. It never was. Colin Kaepernick was the only one. How many black people have taken a knee this year? Okay, that's my prime example. Equals anti-American. And this is where you see people generalize. They don't have no context because they probably never lived in the black community. When you say anti-American, no, athletes are a lot of athletic sports are some of the most pro-patriotic sports that there are activities that they are. They actually sing the national anthem before every sporting event. So athletics is probably one of the most patriotic things that you can do. Athletes are patriotic. A few idiots don't mean that the whole entire sport is unpatriotic. Point and blank. When I was in high school, they sang the national anthem. Tears rolled down our eyes. I went to an all-black school. We love our country. But the problem is that people don't have information. Therefore, they don't make proper psychological decisions. Let's see. Enter. Thanks so much for the super chat. You either engage with dialogue you don't like, or you decide to shut it down with the same label Hillary used against Trump supporters. Do you see what Fuentes exposes here? He ain't exposing nothing. But he has his own channel, so he can say whatever he want to say. Well, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Fuentes ain't exposing nothing. He has a difference of opinion. There's a difference between exposing and having a different opinion. And I think y'all not getting that. Y'all all on this boy jockstrap. And at the end of the day, he's not saying nothing. He disagrees with Charlie Kirk on certain fundamental principles. But that doesn't mean that he's exposing something. Oh my God, he's exposing. People have exposed him. He the one making jokes about Jews. He the one making racist undertones in conversations that he's having. I watched his live stream. He the one doing this stuff in his live stream and calling Rob Smith homophobic words. That's him. That's not people exposing him. Anyway, let's see. Do you think Congress will pass a vote to impeach after the week hearings and let it go? Can't see them not voting on impeachment. I can see them having to go through with the impeachment. They have to do it because they didn't put everybody in this space, so they got to do it. Justin said another one. Laugh out loud. I won't change back, man. That's weak. I'm just looking at the data sheet, man. I'm not racist. I love my own people, but I can tell the truth. 2% of the population is 50% of the violent crimes. What race is that, bro? Let me explain this, because I like when people make these statements, because I think it's important for me to kind of tear the statements down. I'm gonna come back to that. Let me just hit these super chats because the $5 ones will go away. Let's see. Black folks do more than entertain. You should debate Nick food, but leave that talking point home. Whatever. Let's see. Christian, thank you so much for super chat. Nick ain't WN, and folks getting paid by being a warmongering trash at TPUSA. I don't know what that means. Thanks for the super chat. Anyway, back to this guy's point. He's saying that he's looking at a data sheet. Now let me explain to you why. Just because the data shows something is not cut and dry. Now, black people get incarcerated at higher numbers than anybody else disproportionately. If you look at the stats, you would say that black people are treated poorly in this country because they get indicted or convicted for crimes disproportionately to other races. But if you have common sense and you're a logical person, you'll understand that black people do commit disproportionate amounts of crime. So that's why they go to jail disproportionate amounts of numbers. So just because the numbers say something don't necessarily mean that that's the end all be all. White people, you may say black people are 2% of the population, which is not true. It's really 13% of the population, and the criminal element is probably about 6 or 7% of the population, if that. That's being very conservative and generous. About 6% of the population do commit over 50% of half of the violent crimes. Now do your math. Where does the violent crimes happen? People like myself aren't committing violent crimes. Black people in the middle class aren't committing violent crimes. The poor blacks and the people who they commit the crimes against, most of them commit crimes against themselves. And if you look at white people, they commit crimes against themselves. So this argument of just because the more the color get in the country, the worse, the more liberal it get. Like I said, you can bring the argument back to when this country was primarily white and we had slavery and KKK and all this other stuff. So can put some numbers on a sheet of paper doesn't necessarily mean that articulates the full perspective. So anyway, like the video, like the video, like the video. If you're watching, it is what it is. Adequate argument that chain migration, illegal immigration is ruining the fabric of America. You can articulate that. That can be a legitimate argument. But when you make it about race, they want their own culture. They want to come to America, but retain their own culture and sit in boxes. And then these people go around and they end up voting for people who are going to give them free stuff. Those things don't work very well. Let's see. And it looked like YouTube is shutting down my live stream. But this is my argument with this, Angela, is that you can take the way Rob Smith presents himself in two ways. You can look at it as if, oh, he's just promoting the sexual, because there's an ideology that already exists in America that's been perpetuated by the left that because you're black, you shouldn't support President Trump. And I'm here to say I'm a black man and I support President Trump. Therefore, it breaks the foundation of their division. But I think it's important because if you're going to walk around and act as if there aren't broken up into ideologies and groups already, then you're missing the boat. You're missing it. You're never going to win people over like that. You're not. In front of the hood, nobody's going to listen to you. You have no credence. You have no hood credit. But some of y'all believe that a white man could just walk around and say, I wish that it was like that. I wish that we can just say we're all Americans. But when you go to a document and you got to fill out and it say black or whatever, society is not structured that way, although we would like for it to be. Browns football player attacked. Let's see, Danielle said Browns football player attacked VA quarterback on opposing team. What do you think, and should football players be held to a higher standard? Yeah, sure. I'm gonna get out here in a second. Yeah, I mean, they should be held to a higher standard. It's a game of football. Emotions rise. He should be suspended. Nothing more, nothing less. I don't think he should be considered a criminal crime because you run downhill and you knock a person out because you hit them hard enough and they go unconscious. Should that be a crime? No, it shouldn't. The dude should get it suspended. And then that player can actually sue him personally for damages. Okay, Justin, with all these super chats you're doing, it would be a shame for you to be one of these people that do the super chat and retract it. But if you care about free speech, invite Nick to your show. Don't debate him. Just ask questions and discuss the good faith. You listen. I'm about free speech. That's why I'm not going to stop his channel. I don't have to debate him. I can talk about his ideas. I don't have to debate every liberal in America to talk about their ideas. I don't have to debate the kid at this point. I don't think it's worth it. He need to prove to me. I need to know more that he ain't a racist and all this other stuff before I ever debate him. And I don't need to give him a platform so he can speak his truth. He got a YouTube channel. They got thousands of people watching. I don't need to give him a why do you need to come on my show? He can come on his show. It makes no sense. I don't know why people think that somehow we owe people a platform. Oh, I owe it to you to give you a platform that's free. No, freedom of speech is for him to be able to talk on his own platform. Ever listen to Dan Bongino? He is fire. Lisa, thanks so much for the super chat. I love Dan Bongino. I actually met Dan Bongino, and he told me he know who I was, and he told me to reach out to him anytime. So I like Dan Bongino. Bring him on your live stream and your show so he can get more attention. Like, I just don't really think that kid is acting in good faith. Charlie Kirk didn't come after Nick Fuentes. Nick Fuentes came after Charlie Kirk. And I think people need to realize that. Nathan, thank you for the super chat. Somebody said scared. Man, y'all, man. So let's see, because Charlie Kirk is not a conservative. Y'all so funny, man. You know what's funny about this grower movement is that, and I know all of y'all not involved in that, but this is the beta male syndrome. It's when you're a beta male and you spend your whole life looking for a leader. Oh, I need a leader. I need a leader. Oh, let's follow Nick Fuentes. Y'all are just embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all embarrassing. Embarrassing. And then they get on this mood where they want to come on your live stream and do all this other stuff. You guys are followers. You're not leaders. If this guy Nick was worth his salt, he should just host events. Why do you need to debate anybody? Name somebody. Charlie Kirk is too busy producing. He don't need to spend time debating somebody. Nick Fuentes can have, and if he's watching, you can have your own event. Who's stopping you from having an event? And if your ideas are better than Charlie Kirk's ideas, you're going to be bigger than Charlie Kirk. You're going to have a bigger platform over time if your ideas are better. There's no need to debate. And if you ask anybody, why does he want to go to Charlie Kirk and not debate other people that's on his level? Because he want to get exposure at the top level. That's like somebody saying, I want to fight Floyd Mayweather, and you ain't never did a heavyweight fight before. I mean, you ain't did no real deal fight, not heavyweight, but you ain't really been in no fight. You just starting out and you got 1 win under your belt, 2 wins under your belt. You want to fight more Floyd Mayweather. It don't work like that, man. You're not going to get a debate from the dude at the top. Make your own platform. Keep building your own stuff. It's just, the thing is that he want to debate him. He want to debate Charlie Kirk so he can go viral. So he can say some stuff and it can go viral. And he can have his little gropers at the event to say stuff and go viral. And then he have more popularity and make more money off of y'all. That, to me, that's what it is. Because if you don't need to waste your time arguing with Charlie Kirk. You should spend your time making your own platform and continue to grow your own platform. Make your videos, make your argument. You don't need to debate people. It's not about debating. It's about stepping in your lane and doing what you think is right. If you are a true conservative and you're a true conservative, then just be a true conservative. There's no reason to argue. You're not going to prove Charlie Kirk wrong because you guys just differ in perspective. You're not Charlie. And if you're going to say Charlie's not a conservative, you're making a huge mistake and you're never going to get a debate with anybody. Let's see. Danielle, he ripped the quarterback's helmet off and hit him with him. Please write a better sentence. And what you're saying is he ripped the quarterback's helmet off and hit him with it. And this is not the first incident. It's football. It's football. Now, you can get suspended and fined from the National Football League. But what do you want him to go to jail? I mean, that guy was coming at him too. So the kid was coming at him, and so he banged him in the head. Now, you can't bang somebody in the head with a helmet because it's against NFL rules. It shouldn't be a crime because I would think now think about this. He hit him in the head with a helmet, and it probably bruised his head. What about players who cheap shot other players and knock them unconscious? Should they go to jail for that? No. What if you accidentally hit somebody and knock them unconscious? You don't get a fine because it was an accident? No. Football should be football. Unless you pulled out a gun and shot somebody on the football field, it should be, if football is what it is. People fight all the time. People fight all the time. And I don't think people should go to jail for fighting on the football field. Let's see. Mario, thanks so much for the super chat. Nick just tried to get famous off somebody else's hustle. America is not white. America is an ideology. Kick rocks, little boy. Exactly. Thank you, Mario, for speaking truth. And I'm going to end on the truth. Listen, most of y'all know what I'm saying. 600 people watching. Y'all know what it is. But other little betas, y'all just following somebody blindly. This kid is trying to make a come up so he can have hundreds of thousands of followers, milk you for the money, and then when they find out he don't have no substantive arguments, then you just got squandered. You just want to make a come up, man. You just want to be popular, be famous. That's fine. Do it like Charlie Kirk did, and you'll be famous. If your ideas are better than his, your organization will become better than his. It's that simple. He don't need to debate you to make that happen. Let's see. Thank you for the super chat. I think it's Leroy. I don't know. He should be suspended. I hate seeing millionaires play a game. If you make that kind of money with physicality, you should be out to kill. UFC should make more money than NFL. Well, listen, this is the thing. Police officers should make more money than NFL players. It don't work like that. There's not as many people that come to watch UFC, in my opinion. Well, when you think about this, individual UFC fighters make a lot of money. But people don't come to see two people fighting in the ring if they're not, top of the line, if they're not big draws. Just like boxers. Floyd Mayweather made more money than any athlete in history, from what I know. It's because everybody want to see him on pay-per-view. They come to the things or whatever. So the more revenue you generate, the more money they can pay you to keep promoting to generating the revenue. It just is what it is. All right, I think that's the last question. My man Mario takes the cake for the most logic tonight, in my personal opinion. Let's see. Justin, I'll give you one more super chat. America isn't an ideal. That you just showed the world how stupid you are. America isn't an idea. What are you talking about? What are you talking? America isn't an idea. What is it then if it's not an idea? It's actually what is it? It's an actual reality that you live in every day. You wake up. Charlie is funded by corporate billionaires. Wake up, boomers. Oh, I thought you were somebody else. I thought you were Korean telling me to come in there and eat. So let me say this. America is an ideology. People that come from these other countries who are poor, who don't have the freedom of expression, who couldn't take $50 in their pocket and turn it into $1 million organization, they would disagree with you. America is an idea. That's why we're different than every other country. That's why we have freedoms that other countries don't. That's why entrepreneurs are birthed here. That's why there's so many millionaires here. That's why black people are doing better here than anywhere else in the world. It's very simple. This ideology, people begin to adopt around the world and they become successful. It's not a reality that you live. It's an idea. America is an idea. Anybody who adopts the idea of America will be American and successful. If you don't adopt the idea, you are not American. You are not pursuing the American dream. You're not going to get that far in America if you don't pursue the American idea. Okay. Founded on ideas. Let's see. Y'all gonna mess around, make me keep going because you keep super chatting. Let's see. Did I get this one? Okay. Let's see. Miss Miller, let me make sure that I'm not skipping over anybody. Miss Miller, I'm really sick of all this stuff where people are being babies. My family is more my concern than some person that is playing a game in a country and the country's direction. Thank you for the super chat, but I'm not really sure kind of what you're getting at. I do think family should be first, and making sure you putting food on the table and taking care of your children should be your first priority. But football shouldn't be a priority at all. So I agree with you 1,000% on that. But as far as the direction of the country, I think you're separating those into two different categories. People should be concerned about the direction of the country because your children are going to have to live through that. So it's no point in having a family and possibly having children that you raise and you invest in, and then the country go to crap and your kids don't survive or don't make it through that process. Randy, thanks so much for the super chat. I live in Phoenix. Eventually, I'll run into you again. And when I do, Starbucks is on me. My brother. I appreciate you, Randy. When you run into me, say what's up to me. And we could talk. Danielle, thank you for the super chat. I love your videos, but you are heated. Sorry for the spelling error, but I am not said get arrested, but I just said better standards. I just looked it up. He was kicked from the Browns. Yeah, I mean, well, let me say this. I don't know if I believe that the athletes, the NFL should determine the standards of the athletes. We the one put more pressure on these 20-year-olds, 23-year-old, 24-year-old, 25-year-old men. We expect them to be the leaders of the world. They're not. They never will be. So I would like to see NFL players do better. I would like to see them be leaders and be role models, which a lot of them are. I would like to see that standard portrayed by the NFL, but there's no guarantee that that's going to happen. And I think it's a lot of pressure to put on 20-year-olds. Just because they're making money don't mean you should put pressure on them. That's like a little kid, a 16-year-old pop star that blows up and they're making millions of dollars because they have the hit records. Do you put that pressure on them? No, you don't. You understand that they're young. And you would like for them to do better because they're making a lot of money. They get a lot of attention. But a lot of these people are in their 20s. What were you doing in your 20s? And listen, Danielle, I'm not mad at you or anything. I'm just passionate about what I'm saying. So let me get to some more super chats and then I'm done. If y'all keep super chatting, I'll keep going. But I gotta get out of here. I gotta eat. Let's see. Kickflip, thanks so much for the super chat. If you want to fight the players, you should play hockey. Fighting is not allowed in football. Sorry. It's against the rules. Now, I agree. You can't fight. So I don't think we disagree on that. Now, the consequences for fighting is what I think people disagree on. He should definitely be kicked out the team, whatever. You hit a guy in the head and you lose your composure like that, you can't play. You can't. If I was a coach, you can't play for me. I understand you get mad. I understand you take his helmet off. You take his helmet off, you do all that stuff. Hey, I understand. It was the heat of the moment. You were upset. You were mad. You playing an aggressive game. I see how you can get upset and lose your temper. But when you take a helmet and bang it on the top of another player's head, potentially killing him because you have now lost yourself, there's consequences. I like you. You were a good player, but you got to go. You got to get off my team. We're not having that. And this will set the example for every other player. You act that way, you're gone. Period. You can lose your temper. You can get mad. But you do that, you're gone. I think that's a fair statement. I think that's a fair analysis. Let's see. He ripped the quarterback's helmet off. Yeah. I agree with you. Daniel, I think we agree. Let's see. All right, y'all, man. I'm about to get off here. I got to go eat. I've been here for 54 minutes. But anyway, I appreciate y'all. Thank you for the dialogue. I know most of it was about this Nick Fuentes kid. It's because he's becoming really, really popular and talking a lot, and everybody's talking about him. And I'm sick of hearing about him because I think he's illegitimate. Very smart, very intellectual kid, very intelligent, but he's coming off as very racist, anti-Semitic, bigoted, all these other things that these liberals are claiming that we are. He's exemplifying them. And then they're going to add him in the fold with people like myself. And it's like, no, I don't have no, we ain't the same. We ain't cut from the same cloth. Let's see. Deanna, thanks so much for another super chat. I want my grands to grow up in a country that is more concerned about each citizen, no matter what. I agree with you 1,000%. I agree with you. No disagreement on that. Let's see. Danielle, 16-year-olds cannot vote, but 20-year-olds can and influence many people. Yeah, I agree, but I mean, think about it. Think about this. Now, you say 16-year-olds can't vote. That's not what I'm saying. The popularity. So just imagine this. Your 16-year-old becomes a pop star. Imagine the commercials and propaganda that 16-year-old can push that will supersede athletes. I don't know how old little country singer was. Britney Spears, not Britney Spears. What's her name? I used to like her too. I thought she was pretty cute. Now she's a super SJW. Little country star. I forget her name. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Little skinny girl. She got way more influence than athletes. She probably got 100 million followers on social media. These athletes, if you think about it, if you don't watch football, you don't know who these people are. If you don't, I don't watch basketball. I have no idea who 99% of these basketball players are. I have no idea who they are. I know who LeBron is and a few others. And I grew up watching basketball. You don't know who 90% of NFL players are. You only know Tom Brady and like 10 others, unless you're a diehard fan. And if you're a diehard fan, you're not really looking to these people, especially as an adult. You're not looking to these people to be characters. But these celebrities, 16-year-old musicians, the celebrities, actors, more people know them than they know football players. Think about this. The little country girl, y'all know what I'm talking about. She probably one of the most popular people in the world. You got to think about it. The NFL is a American sport. Singing and all this stuff is a world. People know these people all around the world. Let's see. Ha Montana. That's who it is. Oh, Hannah Montana. I said Hannah Montana. I'm not talking about Hannah Montana, but very well could be the case. Let's see. Deanna, by the way, my grands are Hispanic. Okay. Danielle, we need stronger parents to guide their kids. I agree. My son ain't gonna be looking. I tell my son, he like Odell Beckham. I say, don't be like Odell Beckham when he do that. You can catch a football like Odell Beckham. You can have a talent level, but don't act like him, because that's not the way you act. Don't throw fits on the sideline. You know what I'm saying? That ain't cool. So your parents need to step up. It ain't the football player, Taylor Swift. That's who that little chicken head is. Now I call her chicken head because she ain't about nothing. I don't like the way she come across. But Taylor Swift, everybody knew who Taylor Swift was when she first came out. She was probably a teenager. But everybody didn't know who P. Ryan is, or man, Adrian Peterson is pretty popular. But maybe not everybody knew who Cedric Benson was, even though he's very popular. But everybody knows who Taylor Swift is. If you go to the street right now, because and God rest his soul, some people are not going to know who Larry Johnson is. You're not going to know what Larry Johnson I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Larry Johnson, the running back for the Chiefs. But you know who Taylor Swift is. You know who Hannah Montana is. You know who all these little kid actors are. But you don't know who these football players are. So what I'm saying is that a 60-year-old person can have just as much influence. And just because they make money don't mean you should be believing that they should have more of an adult stature. But what I do say, I wish people would help them and guide them and help them be better examples. I don't want to get off live because we still got like 500 people coming, but make sure you go to the Officer Tatum store, and go on and shop for your Christmas gifts or whatever. I appreciate all y'all coming on. I got to go eat because I'm about to pass out. I love you guys. Danielle, thanks for another super chat. Said go eat. Pizza and company are waiting on me. So I'm going to go in there and eat. I love you guys. I appreciate everybody that was on watching live. I'll see you on the next one. I'm out.